Good morning, class. This is your teacher, Miss Judy N.C. Pataksil. How are you today? Welcome to PE and Health subject, second semester, week 3. Our learning objectives for this morning are recognize the history of ORNIS, identify the facilities, equipment, benefits, and terminologies being used in ORNIS. The lesson that we are going to discuss this morning is a type of a combative sport, which is arnis. To begin with, let's know first the history of arnis. So this martial art originated in the Philippines. The primary weapon used in this traditional martial art is the cane or baton. It also involves hand-to-hand combat, grappling, and weapons disarming. Arnis was developed by the indigenous population of the Philippines who used an assorted range of weaponry for combat and self-defense. Arnis is otherwise known as eskrima, kali, and karote, and by even more names in different Filipino or regional languages, encompassing both simple impact and edge weapons. Arnis traditionally involve rattan, swords, daggers, and spears. In 1521, equipped with nothing more than bladed weapons and their fearsome arnis abilities, Filipino islander defeated Ferdinand Magellan's armored, musket-bearing Spanish conquistador forces when they tried to invade. When the Spanish eventually returned and successfully conquered parts of the Philippines, the tradition of arnis were preserved, despite its prohibition in the forms of ritual dance, performance, and mock battles. While earlier, Filipino martial arts were influenced by Spanish colonization, the modern forms have been affected by the country's contact with both the United States and Japan after gaining independence in 1898. Just over a century later, in 2009, the government of the Philippines declared arnis to be the martial art and national sport of the Philippines. It is a Filipino martial art that can be performed individually or with a partner, using a single stick or pair of sticks for striking and blocking. It was founded by Remy Presas and he used it as a self-defense system. Nowadays, it is considered as one of the events in Palarong Pambansa wherein Anyo is one of the popular one. It is a combination of pre-arranged or choreographed striking, blocking, and body shifting techniques. Different styles of arnis are now being practiced all over the world. Although not as popular as other Oriental martial arts, it is highly respected for its practicality and effectiveness in terms of self-defense and combat. In recent Southeast Asian Games 2019, the Philippine Arnis team wrapped up 14 gold medals that made them the champion. Now let's move on to Arnis equipment. The game is played by using prescribed padded stick and delivering artistic and legal blows, strike, thrust, and disarming the opponent to gain scores. Here are the equipment, facilities, and terminologies needed in playing harness. First, we have the wooden stick. It is made up of rattan and measures not less than 60 cm and not more than 90 cm in length, with a diameter of not less than 1.3 cm and not more than 3.8 cm. It must not have sharp edges or pointed. Next, we have the foam. Cushion material should be foamy. The padded stick and shall have a maximum grip diameter not greater than 3.81 cm for competition use. Next, we have the head protector. Refers to a pair of protective headgear to include an impact-worthy face mask. Body protector refers to a pair of body protector properly cushioned to avoid injuries, and the specifications shall be according to the IRE. Groin and body protector to avoid injuries in the specification shall be according to the IRE. Forearm and shin guards are compulsory to avoid severe injuries while having a fight or competition. Since Arnis began to develop an accessible story of Filipino cultural heritage, Senator Juan Miguel Subiri authored and spearheaded the law declaring Arnis as the national sport of the country, which at the time was recently approved and signed by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo into law. Today, the governing body of Arnis in the Philippines is the PECAF or Philippine Extrema Cali Arnis Federation, and the chairman is Senator Juan Miguel Subiri. Now let's move on to the facilities. First, we have the playing area. A square measuring 8.0 meters by 8.0 meters with a 2 meters minimum free zone around it and a clear space without any obstruction up to a height of not less than 5 meters from the playing surface. Benefits of Arnis to a person. Arnis is an effective self-defense. Arnis contributes to the development of physical fitness. Arnis develops mental qualities such as alertness and precision. Arnis cultivates desirable character traits such as alertness and precision. Arnis develops mental strength and courage that allows someone to face danger and pain. Arnis develops the virtue of perseverance to the highest degree. Fundamental skills. First, we have the grip. Proper hold of the stick. Hold the stick once face away from the punyo or butt of the stick. Close the grip with the thumb. Basic stance and salutations. Starting with the ready stance, move one foot about 2 feet to the left or the right direction until both lower legs are almost perpendicular to the ground. Both toes are pointing in front. The waist and the body is facing forward. The body should not be too low or extended, otherwise it will be hard to maneuver. Ready stance or handa. Stand with your feet apart parallel to the shoulder with both toes pointing forward. The knees should be straight, The waist and the body facing forward. Hands are the waist level and the hands should hold the stick on both sides. The ready stand is commonly used when standing at ease during training or tournaments. Attention stance. Stand with your feet forming a 45-degree angle. Heels should be close to each other. Knees should be straight. The waist and body facing forward. Shoulders are dropped to the side and both hands are at waist level. The attention stand is commonly used in preparation for courtesy or bowing at commencement of sparring. Oblique stance. Starting with the ready stance, move one foot forward 45 degrees away from the body until the knee and the toe are in line with each other. Move on the same direction as the lead foot. For example, for right foot lead, move 45 degrees forward to the right. Both toes are pointing in front. The waist and the body is facing forward. The body should not be too low or the lead foot too extended, otherwise it will be hard to maneuver. Distribute the weight or center of gravity to both legs. Oblique stances can be right foot lead, which is the right foot oblique stance, or it can be left foot lead, which is left foot oblique stance. Oblique stances are commonly used for forward blocking and evasion techniques. Next, we have the side stance. Starting with the ready stance, move one foot about 2 feet to the right or to the left or right direction. Moving foot will be perpendicular to the ground while the other leg is extended, thereby creating a position like that of a side kick. Both toes are pointing in front. The waist and the body is facing forward. The body should not be too low or extended, otherwise it will be hard to maneuver. Distribute the weight or center of gravity to both legs. If the left foot moves to the side, it becomes left foot side stance. If the right foot moves to the side, it becomes right foot side stance. Side stances are commonly used for strike deflection and evasion techniques. Next, we have the back stance. Starting with the ready stance, move one foot forward or move one foot backward 45 degrees away from the body. The heels of the foot should form an imaginary L shape while the legs are in a straddle position. The body should not be too low or extended, otherwise it will be hard to maneuver. Distribute the weight or center of gravity to both legs. Back stances can be right foot lead, which is the right foot back stance, or it can be left foot lead, which is left foot back stance. Back stances are used for blocking and backward evasion techniques. Now let's move on to the 12 striking techniques in harness. Strike 1. Strike to the left temple area of the opponent. Strike 2. Strike to the left knee area of the opponent. Strike 3. Strike to the right temple area of the opponent. Strike 4. Strike to the right knee area of the opponent. Strike 5. Strike to the left shoulder area of the opponent. Strike 6. Strike to the right shoulder of the opponent. Strike 7. Thrust or poke to the left chest of the opponent. Strike 8. Thrust or poke to the right chest of the opponent. Strike 9. Bow to the left eye. Strike 10, butt to the right eye. Strike 11, center thrust. And the last strike is strike 12, strike to the crown of the head. So the picture on your screen shows the 12 striking techniques in arnis. The most important thing in practicing the 12 strike is to practice it continuously and repeatedly, being conscious of the target, stance, footwork, and body movements. Repeating the 12 basic strikes help build retention, muscle memory, and muscle conditioning. Now let's move on to the types of arnis competition. First, we have the anyo or form. So anyo or form is a combination of pre-arranged or choreographed striking, blocking and body shifting techniques, and blocking techniques to create a 3-minute single stick anyo. Laban or full combat. Players are required to strike their opponent's different body parts with one baton. Unlike other combative sports, arnis does not usually require any body contact between each player aside from the batons that they are holding. Next, we have the arnis terminologies. When we say arnisador, it is the practitioners of arnis. When we say bat, punyo of the stick closer to the handle. When we say dagger, it is daga. Distance or long range is largo. Distance or medium range is medio. Distance or short range, it is corto. Goodbye, it is paalam. Grappling or wrestling is dumog. Grip is the way on how to hold the stick. Handle grip of weapon is the punyo. Hello, mabuhay or kamusta. How are you, which is kumusta. Instructor is the guro. Machete is the bolo. Poke is tusok. Ready position is handa. Respect, pugay or form of salutation, greeting between practitioners. Stab or thrust is saksak. Stick or single, solo baston. Stick, double, doble baston. Stick weapon is yantok. And sword is espada. Sword and dagger is espada y daga. Thank you is salamat. And arm combat is mano y mano. You are welcome is walang anuman. Waving or weapon movement is sinawali. So that's all for our lesson this morning. I hope you enjoy and you've learned a lot. Thank you for listening. For your activity and for your quiz, just follow the GAITF link on your screen. Once again, for your activity and for your quiz, just follow the GAITF link on your screen. Have a nice day and goodbye.